I'm Charlie Bright of Gold Derby, and today I'm speaking with Walt Dohrn, the director of Trolls Band Together, as part of our Meet the Experts film animation panel. You have all these wonderful troll characters in this movie, and I'm wondering, which troll is the most fun to design for?
Oh yeah, I mean the cast is huge. I think we had a lot of fun designing the Keenan Thompson troll. He's
Tiny
all
Diamond, I think it is.
yes, Tiny Diamond's his name, and he's all glitter. Like he is this very complex kind of surfacing, and he's so small. A troll already is, yay high, and this guy is so tiny. It's very hard to kind of uh shoot with because he was so small. But the texture on that guy, and his attitude, plus Keenan did so much improvisation with the character.
Did was it tough to try to incorporate, like, with him being so tiny, as with him being the main driver of all the vehicles in the movie?
It was very tricky, Charlie. That's for sure. We gave him a little kind of car seat on top of the seat. We built this whole handle for him to grab, like a steering wheel on top of the steering wheel. And in the end, Rhonda, that's the name of the armadillo van that they ride in, she can kind of drive herself anyway.
Um, so I think the trademark thing with the troll movies is the way that they is the way that songs are inserted, that sort of that help communicate, or accentuate what's going on with these characters. And I'm curious, what is the process like to determine where you'll insert specific songs into the movie?
Yeah, it's a good question. Since music is such a huge part of this film, it really drives it. Like you said, it's a big engine. And it's not a traditional musical, since there are, classic cover songs as well as brand new original pop songs. So it starts with, like all musicals, though, where can we help move the story forward in a unique way? But it's more complex. Say you have like a song like Sweet Dreams. Well, how do we do that where we have the lyrics? So what we do is just start blocking them in, going, okay, this would be a good place for it rhythmically. Here's a good place for a song. Or we're going to introduce the villains. It'd be great to have a song that has some menace in it. So we just start slowly building it, putting songs in, just rough songs. We get our music producer, Joe Shirley. He constructs all these really great demos as we fine tune them. And then there's things like the medleys, which are massive. There's an opening medley with there's probably about 5 or 6 songs blended in there. And that I work with my editor, who I've been working with for 10 years, maybe more. And we just start chopping up the songs. They're all in different keys from different decades. And so it's just kind of this hodgepodge. And then it all just gets blended together by the incredible musicians on our film.
Has there ever been a song that you've wanted to use in the movie for a specific part, but it just didn't pan out?
Yeah, and it's usually because of the story needs is usually how it works. I mean, it could be kind of a rhythm thing or maybe song fatigue. Okay, we've had too many songs in a row. But there was one I really wanted to use in this one because of the theme of the dangers of fame, was David Bowie's Fame. It was a great song, but that was one of those, I tried it in there, I cut it in, we boarded to it, but it just didn't have the same kind of energy as the theme from the film Fame. So we've got that Fame song on there. Plus, tonally, that one felt a little more irony in it.
Um, what was it like trying to cast the Branch's brothers, the members of BroZone? What was it like trying to get the right casting for that?
Yeah, it was a particular challenge because there are 4 brothers. But there was fun in it too because we got to put together our own super boy band. So you don't get too often you get to do that. But each brother needed to have a distinct voice. So they all had this specificity of the sonic texture of their voice. So that was important. So they each stood out. But these actors that we cast, they each brought themselves into the role, and they really helped develop who the character was and made them even more distinct. Yeah, like Eric Andre, he came in, he was the older brother. He was a little bit based on my older brother, who seemed like he was 10 feet tall, and he was a big hero to mine, but he also didn't have any kind of he didn't apply or adhere to social rules, the social constructs. So there was a little bit of that, and I got to sit with Eric when we were recording. We're in the same room together, and we're improvising and just going back and forth. So the actors were essential in creating who these characters were.
And the brothers were Eric Andre, Troye Sivan, Kid Cudi,
Yeah,
and who's the fourth one? I can't remember. I'm blanking.
Daveed Diggs.
It
Daveed
was David.
Diggs.
Okay, David
Yeah.
Diggs.
So
Yeah.
it's hard in casting for a Trolls movie. It's like the actors need this triple threat. You know, they need to be funny because it's a comedy first and foremost. They need to be able to pull off the real authentic emotions and performance in the story, and they need to be able to sing. So definitely all four of those guys had all those traits.
So I'm curious, when you were casting those, and I know I'm still on the BroZone questions, but when you were casting those, how important was it to find that their voices like gelled together correctly? Was that another aspect of, in terms of getting that casting right?
It definitely, that was like such one of the key pieces. So they all sounded good together. So we would, even when we were exploring casting choices, and we're pretty much close to our cast we wanted, our initial ideas, but we would take audio snippets of them from other films and performances and interviews and lay them next to each other, cut them in to see how they blended together and how they stood out. And then we got to refine that even more as we brought the actors in. Like Kid Cudi, he really, we cast him. He was excited to be a part of the film. We had been wanting to work with him since the last Trolls movie. And he was excited. I'll say, okay, we'll see you later. It was maybe about 4 or 5 months. And we saw him, and he had crafted this whole unique voice that he wanted to use. And a lot of times we'll go with as close as we can to the actor's performance to ground the Trolls into a reality. But he had crafted the funniest, most unique sounding voice. And so we're very collaborative on the Troll universe. We encouraged him to do it. And so he brought that character to life in a new way as well.
With each successive Trolls movie, you always get these wonderful new universes that we get to see. And I was wondering which new part of the Troll universe was the most challenging to design.
Yeah, they all were particularly difficult. But I think there was a particular challenge in this area called Mount Rageous. It's where the antagonists live. It's like a city, an urban place where only teenagers live. It's a city full of teenagers, you can imagine there. But to get the kind of contrast and the opposite of the Trolls, who are soft and rounded and everything's kind of felted and fiber, we got to choose all the opposite of those, real sleek surfaces and plastics and glass and all the hard surfaces. So that's where we started. But it's really important to us that there aren't humans in this world. We transport the audience to places they've never been to. There are no humans. There are some rules in Troll universe. And so we wanted to create something that didn't feel too human, but still felt familiar. So it ended up being this city made of crystals, and inside this clouds, it was like a city inside the clouds. But it's so unique, but it gives you that kind of Hollywood, Los Angeles feel.
A city full of teenagers, I can only imagine what the city council meetings are like. Well, Walt, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on our panel in just a little bit.
All right, thank you.